Good Thursday morning, everybody. I am meteorologist Johnny Lively here to do our Thursday show that is sponsored by HB Neal Construction. We've had showers and thunderstorms, really good lightning show over there in Chambers County near Winnie earlier this morning, but we're seeing some decent coverage across the region now, slowly starting to kind of weaken from some of that rain-cooled air that we're seeing, but we're still expecting some little bit redevelopment later this morning and into the afternoon hours. And this is thanks to our sponsor at Modern Concrete and Materials, putting here this radar. Looking at the satellite and radar across Texas and also Louisiana, it wasn't very active until we got earlier this morning around 4 to 5 a.m. And then we're now seeing a lot of this towards the coast and some showers offshore. And we'll see some of this get further inland later on this morning and into the afternoon hours. We're going to watch the tropics real quick because we have one right here in our backyard. This is now in the Bay of Campeche this morning, and we're going to watch this track across the southwest Gulf not only today and into Friday, and this more than likely will be pushing into northern Mexico and South Texas as we get into Friday afternoon. And so really what this is going to do is bring showers and thunderstorms into northern Mexico and areas like South Texas that really does need the rain, but we will watch potential if there is any flooding in those areas on Friday. And here locally, southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, this more than likely will just keep our rain chances fairly healthy as we get into Friday and Saturday. And this is thanks to our sponsor of Do Good Credit Union, and we can show you this. Now let's talk about the vorticity that we're seeing. You can see a little bit of spin, especially on Friday. You can see there's that area. Does this try to become a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm? Not going to rule any of that out. But the biggest thing is that we're going to see from this is just increasing the rainfall there in northern Mexico and South Texas as we get into Friday. You can see getting right there on that border just south of Brownsville Friday afternoon. And then this will push into the Texas Hill Country as we get into Saturday. So this will bring possibly some locally heavy rainfall to the Texas Hill Country. We'll watch and see if any flash flooding is possible because they definitely are vulnerable in that area. But as of right now, we're not too big on the concern of flash flooding, but we will keep an eye on that. Here's our current temperature, sponsored by Dana Simmons Real Estate Team. Currently 75 here in Beaumont, Houston, and Liberty at 80 degrees. Further to the north, Huntsville at 79. Hemp Hill in the Lakes region down into the low 70s, and towards the coast, it's already into the low 80s. Look at Sabine Pass already at 85. Lake Charles currently at 80 degrees as well too. Here's our construction forecast. We know we've got some of these isolated showers and storms already this morning. It's not really mostly clear. I would say it's more partly cloudy than anything that we're seeing this morning. And as we get into the lunchtime hours, 20% coverage still expected. And then after lunch, that's when we're starting to see that 30 to possibly 40% coverage as those redeveloping of showers and thunderstorms moves into our region. Thanks to a sponsor of Neutron Electrical Services, we can show there's that graphic, there's that broad area of low that is now in the Bay of Campeche that is going to be pushing towards the southern Texas and northern Mexico as we get into Saturday. Notice that high pressure right over our region, so temperatures will start getting warm as we get hotter next week, but this high pressure that's overhead on Saturday is the reason that this low is not pushing into our area. It's really going to shove it down into South Texas. Here's our atmospheric moisture. We can really see that push into South Texas, and then just keeping the moisture here in our area not only Friday and Saturday, but sticking around into Sunday as well too. And then look off to the east. You can see a very large hurricane. That is Hurricane Ian at that point. Hurricane Erin at that point. It's still a tropical storm right now. We're about to talk more about Erin coming up. But as we get into early to middle of next week, that is going to be a large hurricane that will be just off the East Coast. Here's our future cast for right now, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. We've got the showers and storms below the I-10 corridor. Later on this afternoon, we're expecting some redevelopment across the region. As we get into the overnight hours, not much here into our area. And as we get into Friday, we're at least keeping those rain chances alive really off and on throughout the day. Another round of likely 40% coverage across the region. And you can see in our rainfall outlook, here we are, really somewhat of a roller coaster ride the next couple of days, but rain chances just aren't zero. They're going to stick around the next couple of days. Saturday is really looking to be our highest day that we're going to see 50 to 60% 50% coverage. And then high pressure moves in over the weekend and early next week. And we see those rain chances start kind of going down once we get into early next week. And we'll see those temperatures get a little bit warmer as well, too. Thanks to Dana Simmons, we can show you the high temperatures. High temperatures here in southeast Texas will mainly be in the low to mid 90s. Further west you go, you can get into the mid 90s. I don't think we'll be getting into the upper 90s across any area, thanks to all the cloud cover and some of the rain that we'll be dealing with. Overnight lows into the lakes region will be into the low 70s. Down towards the coast will be into the 80s. Parts of southwest Louisiana will be into the mid to upper 70s. Now, here is Tropical Storm Erin. Tropical Storm Erin is slowly getting better organized. We're seeing a lot of hot towers and convection. Winds are now at 50 miles per hour, and really the next couple of days, we expect the potential for possibly rapid intensification as we get into the weekend. This will be the first hurricane of the season. Likely going to be a large major hurricane as we get into early next week. Still watching how close this is going to get to the Bahamas, and also watching how close this can get to the Carolinas as we get into next week. And we also need to show that you can start seeing a lot more of these hot towers, the whites and the pink over here on satellite. This is just showing us some very intense updrafts. We weren't seeing that 2 days ago. It was battling a lot of dry air. Now it's starting to get in more favorable conditions. Now we're starting to see that this is wanting to become a hurricane in the next couple of days. So by Monday, we're expecting this will be a large major hurricane just east of the Bahamas. Possibly can get a little bit closer. We're still going to keep an eye on that. And then it will continue to lift. How close does it get to the Carolinas? This latest GFS model keeps it further to the east. The Euro wants to bring this a little bit closer, so I think that we still need to kind of keep an eye on the Carolinas. But one thing is for certain is this is not going to be any issue for the Gulf. And this is the reason why. We can show that this is a weakness in these two high-pressure ridges. It will allow this to lift northward, going away from the Gulf. But still need to keep the eyes, if you're in the Bahamas or East Coast like the Carolinas, you definitely want to keep an eye on this. And we do need to say that some impacts are actually likely at this point for the Carolinas, even if it does miss, okay? We're still expecting anywhere from 9, 10 to 13-foot waves crashing into the East Coast. So this is going to be a big rip current problem, and erosion can be a problem as well, too. So we need to kind of stop saying that no impacts are expected for the Carolinas or the East Coast, because either way, they're going to get some pretty decent waves hitting their shorelines, and this can cause them issue. And then you see Erin go off to the north-northeast, finally getting picked up by that jet stream later on down the road as we get in, not this weekend, but next weekend. Here's our 7-day forecast for southeast Texas. Rain chances really sticking around not only the next couple of days. As we get into next week, those rain coverage starts dropping off. But we're going to see the heat kind of go up as well, too. We could get into the mid to, if not upper 90s next week with that high pressure over our region. Same thing for southwest Louisiana as well, too. Rain chances sticking around. Next couple of days through the weekend, high pressure starts building in. Rain chances still there, but we're going to see those temperatures get a little bit warmer as we get into next week. So everybody have a good Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have more info throughout the day. Have a good one.